On today's episode of Days of Our Lives, Eric and Sloan reach a significant milestone in their relationship. Sloan receives a DNA sample, Kristen and Megan go after the boys' club, and Leo gives Johnny food for thought. Johnny is seated at small bar with a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. Leo settles in to get the newest information on the DiMera family crisis. Johnny is speaking without understanding. He is more interested in learning about his other aunt, Megan, than Kristen's immunity, which Leo informs him about. Johnny has never met her. Thus he is unable to assist. Leo is shocked as Wendy enters in a waltz. He believed that Johnny was awaiting Channel. Tony tells the family at the DiMera house that he has something he needs to tell EJ. When Anna tells Tony about Nicole's pregnancy, she suddenly exclaims that she can't let him do this. She fabricates Tony being drunk. She makes it clear that she can't allow him to say something he'll later regret. The family is interested in his perspective. Tony commends his brother for his leadership at DiMera while drawing Anna's ire. He advises Megan and Kristen to be supportive of him. Tony is dragged away by Anna to speak with her alone. At the hospital, Eric spots Sloan and Nicole. What's inside the box Nicole is clutching, he wonders. It's a medical test kit, claims Sloan. Nicole makes up a virus outbreak and the requirement that everyone take a negative test before seeing patients. Since there aren't many tests available, Nicole planned to give Sloan one of hers so she could see her brother. Sloan encourages Eric to take the test rather so he can see AB while seeming to be appreciative. Leo teases Wendy for being torn between Johnny and Trip after he makes fun of Channel. Leo receives a threat from Wendy that if he publishes an article about them, she would hack into his accounts and ruin his life. Leo feels her conflict over choosing between 2 men. Trip is a doctor, whereas Johnny is just an idle hobbyist. Leo is pushed out the door by Johnny. Tony tells Anna in the foyer that he wasn't going to tell her Nicole's secret. Actually, all he wanted to do was back EJ. Anna regrets having questioned him. EJ still has a right to know, in Tony's opinion. The question, a right to know what? EJ queries as he leaves the living room. Tony makes up the story that Anna was worried about him fanning the flames of EJ and Stefan's feud. For constantly having his back, EJ expresses gratitude. Stefan and Gabby are attempting to persuade Kristen and Megan to join them in the big room. What can they do for Megan, she queries. She will be warmly welcomed into the family by Stefan. EJ won't engage in that. EJ comes back and says that isn't the case. In reality, he'll give her his master suite since she was imprisoned. Kristen notes that she was imprisoned as well. EJ counters, but Megan has seniority. After he stabbed Kristen in the back, she refused to stay in his room. Eric declines to take one of Nicole's tests at the hospital. He would rather Sloan keep it. He departs after saying he will meet Sloan at home. The women argue over whether Eric may be the father of Nicole's child after lamenting their failed attempt. Sloan begs God that he is not. Tony worries about deceiving EJ in the DiMera lobby, as EJ nearly did. Anna advises them to take care not to let anyone else overhear their conversation about Nicole's pregnancy. Nicole returns. Anna, what in the world? At their meal, Wendy sees Johnny again. He assures her that he and Channel are only friends and expresses regret for Leo. She accepts that Leo was correct about her and Trip, but she still believes him. If it's too strange for him, she will comprehend. He takes her hand and promises that he won't give up easily. Megan presses for information about the sibling conflict in the great room. Kristen recounts their recent events. Stefan reaffirmed EJ's propensity for betraying his siblings. Kristen advises Megan to reconsider EJ's offer, while Gaby wonders how she could possibly trust him. Anna reassures Nicole in the foyer that EJ isn't telling the truth. When Nicole receives the paternity verdict, she makes a pledge to share the information. She seeks guidance on how to secretly swab EJ's cheek. She receives a few sleeping tablets from Anna, which will put him to sleep for several hours. Eric had folded Sloan's towels when she gets home. She acknowledges his feelings toward her brother, but appreciates him for being sympathetic about Colin. Eric expresses sympathy for having a troublesome sibling and promises her that he won't. Johnny tells Wendy that Leo was right about him not having a job. He needs to launch his acting career. While concentrating on his family the previous time didn't go so well, perhaps he might convey her story this time. Johnny describes her life, including the brief love triangle that occurred before she decided there was only one man for her, in his best pitch voice. Wendy sarcastically ponders which man that was. She'll need to pay a ticket, Johnny says seductively. Megan declines to stay impartial and use EJ's room. She is led away by Kristen to look at the available suites. The sisters stroll into the foyer holding hands. When Nicole learns that Kristen has been released from prison and that they both intend to go there, she is surprised. Sloan expresses to Eric how much it means to her that he has stood by her at home. Despite his reservations, Eric says he has since learned more about her personality. She waited so long to let him into her heart, and now she's glad she did. She declares her love for him. He says it again, and as they kiss, he scoops her up in his arms. Nicole confronts the irate Demira in EJ's room and demands to know why he's allowing his sisters to reside there. Of sure, he replies, their votes. He is having a terrible time winning them over though. Nicole advises him to take sleeping pills so that he can wake up with fresh eyes and a full night's rest. Johnny comments on Wendy outside her door, calling her great despite her ambivalence. He gives her a long kiss in the hopes of influencing her decision. She jokes, "That will definitely go in your plus column." Kristen and Megan are alone in the great room and are drinking on the couch. Megan argues that her brother's belief that they must all operate the business together is chauvinistic. Kristen concurs that the girls should take the reins. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, Daily Bulletin News, and stay with us.